Monitor the website because
It
I
could
mean I was
change.
monitoring it over Christmas holidays and it was like
Changes
what
every
the
other
heck
day.
is going on? I was like it was a whipsaw. I mean it was like the worst roller coaster ride ever.
This is Las Vegas Real Estate Now with local real estate expert Harvey Blankfeld.
The original filing requires that any owner of a company files the personal information of the owners that, like if you own the LLC and you know if there's a 2-3 owners, you and your wife or however, report all of their IDs and their addresses and everything and their ownership percentages, and then that goes to FinCEN.
Right.
FinCEN being the Financial Crime Enforcement Network, which is part of the Treasury Department, and so they're not the IRS, but they're closely affiliated with the IRS.
Sure.
And the IRS and FinCEN are within both in the Treasury Department. They share information, all of that.
Gotcha.
So that original requirement was challenged in several court cases. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, a case in that, I think it's called Top Cop Shop, versus the. They're the ones who their case is the headline case that says, hey, they put us the court deemed it unconstitutional, put a stay in place in like the early December. Okay?
Saying you didn't in fact have to file your information
Right.
with FinCEN. Okay.
FinCEN put an update on their website, says you don't need to file. There's a moratorium while this is under appeal.
Right.
2 days before Christmas, a Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals panel overturned that stay and said, okay, now everybody's got to file them.
Within the next week?
December 31st or December 23rd. They said, we're going to be generous and you've got until January 13th to file them.
Oh my goodness.
Then after Christmas on December 26th,
Right.
another panel of the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals took in and they reinstated the stay in not having to file.
Okay.
And so on January 2nd, though, if you look at the FinCEN website, go to fincen.gov/BOI.
Okay.
It'll have the alerts on there, and I monitor that all the time because in the process of me going to file one, I looked it up and I was like, well, I told somebody they needed to file it, and then I said, I'll show you the alert on the FinCEN website. I went to the website, and then the new thing was like, we don't got to file it. So like, hold on. So I got back in touch with them. You don't have to file it. So anyways, it's not until it's appealed to the Supreme Court. And
right.
So it's probably going to be June when they issue their opinions for the court. And we'll figure out what happens. But it's likely.
But for right now, you don't have to file. Right now, you don't.
The reason that this requirement got overturned, it was imposed by midway through the Biden administration, but because of the recent Supreme Court decision, they overturned that Chevron doctrine.
Okay.
Do you remember that? That's where they would default that if an agency created regulations for something, it was defaulted right unless there was some overturning compelling reason why it would be not right.
Gotcha.
And so because the default assumption of the regulations being correct is in question now, this has a legitimate likelihood of not being upheld by the Supreme Court and the law overturned.
Okay, so you're saying basically we won't have to do this.
If you filed your reports while it was a requirement, I mean, I don't know that it's a harm or a foul, but it depends on what they're going to require the FinCEN to do with that information. If they're going to require them to destroy it, if they're going to require them to disregard it, or if it's upheld, all those people who already filed will have no problem, and then everybody who hasn't filed yet is going to have to file probably before the end of December 31st, 2025. So your advice to people right now is to just wait and see.